Welcome into Ravens Rundown, everybody. I'm your host, Joey Petersen. And today, we're going to talk about the domination we all just witnessed on primetime ESPN's Monday Night Football. 41-31 was your final score as the Baltimore Ravens toppled the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on their home field. And I'll be honest, guys, it's a little bit closer, that score, than the actual game was, right? 41-31 is the final. But at one point, Ravens are up 34-10. And if it wasn't just for some soft coverage that they just didn't want anything to go over the top, I think the score would have stayed the same, or at least very similar to that. But Lamar Jackson, that's where we're going to start this one, because he had himself a day. 17 for 22, 281 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks. Derrick Henry also joined in, 15 carries, 169 yards, 0 touchdowns. Rashad Bateman, 4 receptions, 121 yards. This Ravens offense was clicking. It was clicking in a way I have yet to see it click all year. And I'm talking about in a game against Buffalo where you dominated them 31-10. I'm even talking about in a game against the Dallas Cowboys where you dominated that one as well. But if you look at the total yards from this team against the Tampa Bay defense, that wasn't horrible. Todd Bowles, that is the most yards he's ever led up in his coaching career. 508 total yards for your Baltimore Ravens. 22 first downs on the day. They went 3 for 8 on third downs, only had third down 3 times. Now, this is where it gets bad. You did have 9 penalties for 85 yards. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But you went 24 and 55 minutes with the ball in your hands. Bucs, they had their way offensively too. 481 yards, 28 first downs, 11 for 17 on third downs. They had 8 penalties, and they held on the ball for 33 total minutes. All right, before I get into any more of my extensive and more of my thoughts on this awesome win on Monday Night Football, I want to hear from you guys, because you guys click in every day. You hear from me. This is my turn to hear from you guys. What's your one-word reaction to tonight's game, okay? You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break, and this is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So to make that time go by a little bit faster, scroll down the comment section, find this comment for me, and let me know your one-word reaction. All right, let's talk Lamar. Because I think after tonight, he solidified any doubts that anybody had this year that he could A, throw the football, and that B, that he's going to be a 3-time MVP at some point. I think this is the year. I think after this game and the primetime lights, he has the best winning percentage on primetime games in the history of the NFL. I think this performance tonight of 17 for 22, only 5 incompletions, 281 yards, and 5 touchdowns as well, that says all I need to see from him, okay? And this tweet, coming from Next Gen Stats, just shows how absolutely dominant he was, okay? Lamar Jackson was 14 for 16 for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns against zone coverage. And that's coming off a game last week where he absolutely dominated man coverage. So you got to ask yourself, how do you stop this guy? And the receivers were open. They averaged 5.3 yards of separation per target. Amazing. And then he did what he does on the ground too. 9 carries, 52 yards, 17 was his longest. He was phenomenal. It's the best game I've seen him play all year long. He was accurate deep. He was accurate in the intermediate passes. Hit Rashad Bateman for a deep ball touchdown right in the breadbasket. Was beautiful. He was the ultimate craftsman, the ultimate just gunslinger tonight. I can't say much more about him. And let's talk Derrick Henry, okay? Let's talk his running mate. The Robin to his Batman. Or maybe should I say the Batman to his Batman, because there's no way either of these guys are Robin. 15 carries, 169 yards, broke off an 81-yard run in the second half. And it was a slow start for Derrick Henry. He went to halftime only having, about 30 yards. But boy, when you needed him, when you needed to just kind of run out the clock and let this game end, that's when he came up the most clutch. Broke off an 81-yard run. Also broke off a 31-yard run. Guess who his lead blocker was on that run? Yeah, it was Lamar Jackson. The two of these together, I think it is illegal. I don't know how the NFL, how Roger Goodell, how any of these other teams let this happen, but I'm happy they did because he was phenomenal tonight. And then Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers got injured early, and Rashad Bateman stepped up. He really did. 4 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown. He had a 59-yard reception at one point in the game. It was great. There's just not much more I could say about this offense. They were perfect on almost everything. I do want to talk about the penalties for a second. Look at that. 30 carries, 244 yards, 8 yards a carry. 8 yards a carry is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But I do want to talk about the penalties for just a small second because that's a problem. And Bill Belichick said it tonight on the Manning cast. He said Tampa Bay can't stop Baltimore. But you know who can't stop Baltimore? It's Baltimore, right? You get inside the 10-yard line on an awesome Mark Andrews catch, deep ball, or I guess intermediate ball from Lamar Jackson, and then 3 straight penalties push you back. Now, Justice Hill came up clutch, got you back to the 35-yard line. Justin Tucker came in clutch, made himself a 52-yard field goal. But, man, the penalties have to stop. Because one day you're going to be playing a team and you're not going to be up 17 points and getting all these penalties. It's going to be a close game, and it's going to affect the final score, okay? And so that needs to change. But I want to know from you guys, after we talked up the offense and the amazing way they played tonight, who was the Ravens MVP against the Buccaneers, okay? You let me know in the comment section down below. I know it's hard to say, but I think it's Lamar. I know it's hard to pick between Lamar and Derrick Henry, but man, he just did so much tonight. I got to go with Lamar Jackson. But you let me know in the comment section down below. All right, while you're letting me know that, I got to talk to you about the sponsor of today's show, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks, and Prize Picks puts its members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead up to big payouts, like Anthony Edwards just needs to score 1 point on opening night for that square to win. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long. Let's take a look at my Prize Picks for tonight, and let's just say your boy went 3 for 3. I had the more on Derrick Henry rush or receiving touchdowns, and he got himself a receiving touchdown. Had the more on Lamar Jackson pass yards, and he had more than 231.5. I also had the more on Baker Mayfield pass yards, and unfortunately, but not unfortunately, he had more than 260.5. What can I say? Your boy knows ball. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus because it's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Alrighty, let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball. Actually, before we talk defense, I do want to talk a little bit about injuries because Zay Flowers went out for just a little bit at about like the second quarter in this game when he made an awesome play on a pass and then got a couple extra yards and then was brought down really awkwardly on the ankle. However, he did end up going back out in the game. But let's talk about Marlon Humphrey, okay? Because Marlon Humphrey intercepted Baker Mayfield for the second time tonight, his 4th pick on the season. However, he did go down with a knee injury. As of right now, I'm not seeing anything about Marlon Humphrey in that injury, okay? And so I will keep you updated. I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow on the show. But as of right now, no clear takeaways from that Harbaugh injury. But it did happen. He didn't play the rest, or Harbaugh. Humphrey injury. Have I been saying Harbaugh this whole time? Humphrey injury. Marlon Humphrey. He did get injured, knee injury. He was out for the rest of the game. So definitely should be something to monitor, something we'll talk about as this week goes on. Okay, let's talk defense. Baker Mayfield end of the day, 31 for 45, 370 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. And you let up 31 points. You let up over 400 yards. But like I said kind of at the top of the show, this to me is like it isn't actually showing of how this defense played. Because I think they played awesome. I do. They started out the game not very good. I'm just going to put it plain and simple. Tampa Bay drove right down the field, scored a touchdown. Then the Ravens' offense looked terrible, punted the ball away after about 4 or 5 plays. And then, again, Tampa Bay drove right down the field. This time you held them to a field goal, and they go up 10-0. Then the Ravens score again. And then Tampa Bay yet again goes right down the field. But this time in the goal line, they throw an interception, okay? They throw an interception, and the game turned around. Absolutely turned around from that point on, okay? Baker Mayfield started his day 11 for 13. The next 3 passes he threw, he was 0 for 3 with 2 picks. Marlon Humphrey had both of them. He was phenomenal. I think this defense made stops when they needed to, and then you saw the Buccaneers get those yards and get those points at the end of the game when you're just not playing any press coverage and you're just trying to let anybody beat you over the top. So I think a lot of those were, I don't want to say garbage time points and garbage time yards, but in a sense, like, they kind of were, okay? This defense allowed this offense to score 34 unanswered points. 34 unanswered. It wasn't a good start, but man, in the middle, they were phenomenal. Zach Orr and this defensive staff did a fantastic job getting them to shape up, okay? Now, if you look at the yards, rushing yards that Tampa Bay had, 30 carries, 125 yards, 4.2 yards per carry. We talked about this on my things to watch for, right? My like keys to victory was run defense needs to stay dominant. They didn't do that. This is the most yards they've let up on the ground by far this season. I'm sure this will drop them quite a bit when it comes to like rushing defense. They're number 1 in the NFL. I'm sure this will drop them quite a tad. However, you did enough. You turned the ball over when you needed to. And at the end of the day, I know that Tampa Bay scored 31 points, but I think that's kind of a fake number. I know that might not be great for me to say, but I'm going to say it. Who cares? It's my show anyway. All righty. Confidence level in the Ravens after tonight. They've won 5 straight games. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. After falling to 0-2 and losing to the Las Vegas freaking Raiders on your home turf, you rattle off 5 straight against 5 pretty damn good football teams. What's your confidence level in this team? Because mine's pretty high. I'd put mine at about a 93, 94. I don't know if there's a team in the NFL that this team can line up against and not beat. And I mean that with every fiber of my being. So you let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. If you bleed purple and gold, if you love your Baltimore Ravens, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. The live show tonight was an absolute blast. We had so much fun, added a ton of subscribers along the way as well. We're growing this channel at a record pace, so you help with that, okay? Hit that sub button, and we'll see you tomorrow.